One housewife found out about her divorce on Twitter. Another's husband got deported to Italy. And one marriage collapsed under a $100 million fraud scandal that's still making headlines. These aren't your typical Hollywood breakups. These are the housewife divorces that destroyed empires, landed people in prison, and proved that reality TV cameras capture way more than just drama. Erika, Jayne, and Tom Girardi. Cocktail waitress meets powerful lawyer, 33 years older. Classic Hollywood story, right? Erika and Tom married at the restaurant where they met in 1999, living large for 21 years with no prenup, because apparently lawyers don't always follow their own advice. The marriage looked perfect on RHOA. Erika spent $40,000 monthly on glam alone, justifying it with, "It's expensive to be me." Turns out, it was expensive to be everyone else too. Behind the designer facade, Tom was cheating with multiple women.
So I was just assuming he was with some other woman.
I need you to roll that back.
The final betrayal? When Erika was living her Broadway dream, he left her completely unsupported, too busy with affairs to care. She filed for divorce November 2020, citing privacy needs. 1 month later, the real bombshell dropped. Law firm Edelson PC sued them both for allegedly embezzling settlement funds meant for Lion Air crash victims' families. We're talking $100 million in stolen money meant for grieving families, allegedly funding Erika's lifestyle instead. Tom's empire crumbled fast. Civil contempt for missing $2 million, sued by his own partner, disbarred, then federal indictment for wire fraud and criminal contempt. Plot twist: Tom was diagnosed with dementia and Alzheimer's, now in memory care where phone calls with Erika last 5 seconds. Whether convenient timing or tragic irony, you decide. Erika faced racketeering accusations, fought to keep $750,000 earrings, and contemplated suicide multiple times. She maintains innocence, but public opinion remains split. The divorce that started with infidelity became a federal case study in alleged victim fund theft. Teresa and Joe Judic, high school sweethearts, turned reality TV stars turned federal criminals. Teresa and Joe's love story had everything except a happy ending in the same country.
Because it gets me so mad that our dad is in jail and might be getting deported.
I know.
So yeah, but I mean, he's fighting the battle.
I just don't know how the whole thing's gonna go.
They built their empire on RHOA, flipping tables and apparently flipping financial documents too. The fraud charges hit in 2013. Conspiracy to commit mail fraud, wire fraud, and bankruptcy fraud. Both pleaded guilty because when you're caught red-handed, denial only works on reality TV. The sentence? Teresa got 15 months, Joe got 41 months. But here's the kicker. Joe wasn't a US citizen. After serving time, he faced deportation to Italy, a country he'd left as a baby. Teresa served her time first while Joe watched the kids. She got out, tried to hold it together, then it was his turn. But when Joe finished his sentence in 2019, instead of coming home, he went straight to ICE detention, then deported to Italy. Long-distance relationships are hard enough without an ocean and federal crimes between you. Teresa filed for divorce while Joe was stuck in Italy, unable to return to his 4 daughters. Joe later admitted RHOA caused their divorce, saying the show's exposure led to getting caught in the fraud. Obviously, the separation is what caused the divorce, he said. What am I supposed to do? Plot twist, their post-divorce relationship is actually fantastic. Teresa married Luis Ruelas in 2022, and Luis even asked Joe for his blessing. Now they all vacation together in the Bahamas where Joe lives, spending holidays as one big blended family. Sometimes it takes deportation and prison time to realise what really matters, and apparently what really matters is good co-parenting and holiday dinners. Porsche Williams and Cordell Stewart. Former NFL player meets reality TV newbie. Porsche joined RHOA in 2012 as Cordell's devoted wife, playing the perfect football housewife role. But behind the cameras, Cordell was reportedly controlling every aspect of Porsche's life, her career, her friendships, even her on-screen image. Sources claimed he was obsessed with maintaining that perfect public persona while micromanaging her private reality. The marriage was already cracking during season 5, with Cordell refusing to support Porsche's growing independence on the show. The writing was on the wall when he wouldn't even show up to the reunion special, leaving Porsche alone to face questions about their relationship. Then came the most brutal divorce announcement in Housewives history. March 2013. Porsche found out her husband had filed for divorce by reading about it on Twitter. Not a phone call, not a conversation. Twitter. Imagine scrolling through your timeline and discovering your marriage is over because TMZ tweeted about it first. Cordell cited irretrievable breakdown, but sources revealed he couldn't handle Portia's growing fame and independence. He wanted a submissive wife, not a reality star with her own opinions and storylines. The divorce was swift and cold. No reconciliation attempts, no public statements from Cordell. He disappeared from her life completely. And when Portia announced her pregnancy years later with someone else, she confirmed they hadn't spoken since the split. But here's where Portia won. She completely transformed post-divorce. Gone was the subdued football wife, replaced by the outspoken, confident woman who became a fan favourite. She found her voice, her independence, and eventually her own empire. Cordell's loss was everybody else's gain. Portia levelled up in every possible way after escaping that controlling situation. Bethenny Frankel and Jason Hoppy. Reality TV romance gone radioactive. Bethany and Jason's 2010 wedding was literally televised on Bethany Getting Married, complete with pregnancy drama and skinny girl empire building. But behind the fairy tale cameras, trouble was brewing fast. Jason, a pharmaceutical sales rep, couldn't handle being Mr. Bethenny Frankel. The power dynamic was toxic. She was the breadwinner, he resented her success, and fights became constant. It felt like there was a disparity in the power because I made more money, Bethany later revealed. It was awkward that I paid most of the rent. There becomes this power struggle because the person resents you for the career that you have. The intimacy died completely. I did not want to have sex at all, she admitted. He used to say to me, "It feels like this bed is like a block of ice. When your husband is comparing your bedroom to frozen tundra, the marriage is already over." They split in December 2012 after less than 3 years. Bethany filed for divorce in January 2013, expecting a typical Hollywood split. Instead, she got 8 years of legal warfare that made their marriage look peaceful. Jason turned vindictive fast. In 2017, he was arrested for allegedly stalking and harassing Bethany, earning himself a 6-month stay-away order. This wasn't your average bitter ex behaviour. This was restraining order territory. The custody battle became Jason's weapon of choice. He fought Bethany for joint custody of their daughter, Bryn, dragging her through courts for nearly a decade. Every birthday, every holiday became a potential courtroom drama. Finally, in 2020, Bethany was awarded full legal custody. By 2021, she had primary residential custody too, and Jason stopped receiving child support payments. After 8 years of legal hell, Jason finally surrendered. "I'm removing myself from this fight for Bryn and my physical, emotional, and mental health." Some divorces end with papers. This one ended with a white flag and therapy bills. Ashley Darby and Michael Darby, young Australian, meets older real estate mogul. Ashley was 22 when she married Michael, who was 54, but the age gap wasn't their biggest problem. For years on RHOA, viewers watched Michael's alleged infidelity play out in real time. Gay bar sightings, threesome rumours, and inappropriate behaviour with cameramen became regular storylines. The man was allegedly caught on camera saying he'd cheat again, treating fidelity like a suggestion rather than a vow. Ashley defended him through scandal after scandal, pregnancy after pregnancy. She had 2 sons while Michael's reputation crumbled on national television. Every season brought new cheating allegations, and every reunion brought Ashley making excuses. The breaking point wasn't dramatic, it was exhaustion. After 8 years of marriage and 2 years of separation, Ashley finally filed for divorce in 2024. "I was kind of dragging my feet because I was content with where things were," she admitted. "But I'm ready to start dating." Translation: she was finally tired of being married to a man who treated monogamy like a part-time job. The divorce process was surprisingly smooth compared to their marriage drama. No explosive court battles, no social media wars, just 2 people finally admitting what everyone else had known for years. By February 2024, it was official. Ashley posted on Instagram, "Never did I imagine, when I started this journey on RHOA, that I'd eventually end my marriage. But alas, life had other plans." Now she's co-parenting with Michael, celebrating Halloween together for their sons Dean and Dylan. She describes it as moving from parallel parenting, where they didn't talk, to actually communicating again. Nene leaks and Greg leaks. Meet cute at a strip club, marry twice, divorce once. Nene and Greg's love story reads like a romance novel with commitment issues. They met in 1996 when Nene was 28 and working as an exotic dancer. Greg left her a voicemail saying, "Give Big Daddy a call," and declared he'd marry her someday. Smooth operator or red flag, you decide. They married in 1997, had son Brent in 1999, and seemed solid until RHOA premiered in 2008. Fame changed everything, or revealed what was already broken. By season 3, cameras caught their marriage crumbling in real time. Nene was meeting with divorce attorneys, while Greg complained to radio hosts that fame had gone to her head. The writing was on the wall in high definition. In 2011, after 14 years of marriage, filed for divorce. But this wasn't about irreconcilable differences, it was about teaching lessons. I felt like Greg wasn't treating me the way I should be treated, she explained. It was me teaching Greg a lesson, and I think he got it. Plot twist. The lesson worked. By 2012, Greg was working overtime to win her back on season 5. Nene played coy, claiming she was single, but love was clearly brewing behind the scenes. New Year's Day 2013. Greg proposed again. A little after midnight, I was asked this beautiful question. Will you marry me? Again, Nene told Jimmy Fallon. June 2013. They remarried at the Intercontinental Buckhead Hotel, with Bravo cameras rolling for I Dream of Nene the Wedding. Because if you're going to remarry your ex-husband, might as well get a TV special out of it. Their second marriage lasted until Greg's death from cancer in 2021. Sometimes divorce is just a really expensive relationship timeout, and sometimes love really does win in the end. Cynthia Bailey and Peter Thomas, model meets restaurateur. Cynthia and Peter's 2011 wedding was RHOA fairy tale material. Beautiful ceremony, gorgeous couple, everything looked perfect on camera. Reality hit fast. Their marriage became a public business meeting with occasional romance breaks. Peter's restaurants were struggling, money was tight, and every financial disagreement played out on national television. The real problem? They were fundamentally different people who never should have married. It took me a long time to get married because I was very independent, Cynthia later admitted. Peter is built differently. He will stay in a relationship just to be in the relationship. That doesn't work for me. By season 8, they were living separately for 5 months. Cynthia's breaking point came when she realised Peter would never change. My breaking point was last year. I just felt like, this is it. There's not going to be real change. The divorce conversations were painfully awkward. During a FaceTime call, their first contact in 3 months, Peter got emotional. I haven't seen your face in a long time, and I miss that face. It's fucked up. But Cynthia was done. Meeting with her divorce lawyer, she explained there was no infidelity or desertion, just 2 people who weren't compatible. She had a prenup, didn't want alimony, just wanted to keep her house and move on. Not living together is one thing, she said, tearing up in her car after the lawyer meeting. But actually, sitting down with the lawyer to discuss permanent options is scary. Shit just got real. Peter had good days and bad days about the split. Sometimes he's like, okay, let's do this. Other days, it's, you never tried, you just gave up. But Cynthia was clear. It's more me than him. I just want to move on. Luann de Lesseps and Tom D'Agostino. Countess meets Playboy Bachelor. What could go wrong? Everything, apparently, and in record time. Luann and Tom's whirlwind romance was red flags wrapped in designer suits. He was 50, never been married, and clearly struggling with the concept of monogamy. She was a former countess ready for love again, or at least ready to ignore obvious warning signs. The trouble started before they even made it down the aisle. The day before their engagement party, Tom was caught kissing a mysterious blonde at the Regency Hotel. A friend of Bethany's spotted him, because of course it was Bethany's friend who delivered the tea. But Luann pressed forward, convinced love would conquer all. Their 2017 wedding was gorgeous, expensive, and doomed from day one. On RHOA, viewers watched Tom's bachelor behaviour continue in real time. He called himself a dog with a collar while flirting with ex-girlfriends on camera. The man literally compared marriage to being a restrained animal and somehow thought this was charming. The marriage lasted 7 months. 7. Some people's gym memberships last longer. The final straw came right before the RHOA reunion. Tom went out and called up an old girlfriend, and they met up with a group of people. Luann revealed to Andy Cohen. I didn't know about it. I found out the next day in the press. That was the final straw. I was like, I can't do this anymore. There were also public restaurant fights, including one at Le Bilboquet where Luann allegedly slapped Tom. She clarified she didn't slap him. She grabbed his face because she wanted his attention. When you're physically grabbing your husband's face for attention in public restaurants, the marriage is already over. Luann announced their divorce on Twitter in August 2017. It's with great sadness that Tom and I agreed to divorce. Some marriages end in explosive fights. This one ended in exhaustion after 7 months of trying to house train a 50-year-old bachelor. Shannon Beardor and David Beardor, high school sweethearts who made it to the altar in 2000, then spent 19 years proving that sometimes love isn't enough, when one person can't keep it in their pants. Shannon and David seemed solid when RHOC cameras started rolling. Beautiful house, 3 daughters, successful business, the perfect Orange County family. Until David's wandering eye wandered straight into another woman's bed. The cheating scandal exploded on season 9. David had an affair, got caught, and then had the audacity to act like Shannon was the problem for being upset about it. Classic cheater behaviour. Gaslight the victim while playing the misunderstood husband. But Shannon, desperate to save her family, tried the ultimate Hail Mary, a vow renewal ceremony. Because nothing says, our marriage is strong, like having to remarry your cheating husband on national television to convince yourself it's fixable. Spoiler alert, it wasn't fixable. David cheated again, because apparently, one public humiliation wasn't enough education for this man. The divorce filing came in 2017, and the court battle was nasty. David fought Shannon over money, custody, and anything else he could weaponize. The man who destroyed their marriage with infidelity suddenly wanted to play victim in divorce court. Shannon got her divorce finalized in 2019, but David's pattern continued. He married Leslie in 2020, had a daughter with her, and by 2024, Leslie filed for divorce citing domestic violence and filed a restraining order against him. Plot twist: David's now facing his second divorce while Shannon's thriving on RHOA, proving that sometimes the best revenge is living well while your ex repeats the same destructive patterns with wife number 2. Some men never learn. Some women are smart enough to get out before the pattern destroys them completely.